Evening, everybody. Uh, it is 6:16 on this Wednesday, the 6th of December, and this is video number 2000. Not much to say about it, though. It was kind of a boring day. We started off a little higher with all of the news, the ADP numbers, which came in pretty much as expected. Um, and the productivity and unit labor costs the same, and the trade deficit in line at negative 63.48. One of the sleepiest stats that we get all week, and in fact all month, are the mortgage apps. And today, it was kind of interesting. They weren't overwhelming. They were up 2.8%, but the split on them was pretty telling. People are going back to refi, especially the ones who missed it in the last round. Refi mortgage apps were up 14%, while new purchases were down 3%. That 3% is not a particularly big number, but in point of fact, the refi number is pretty good. Okay, so it was a very mixed day. Of my sectors, they were mixed with energy finance, infrastructure, um, metals, and AI, and the mega caps down, and defense and airlines, retail, pot, and biotech higher. As far as the futures went, we had the oil down below 70, down 294, nat gas down 14 cents. The gold rallied a bit to 2047.90, so 2048 up about $12. The silver was down 30 cents to 24.22. Bitcoin basically unchanged, down 75. The dollar was up a little, and the bonds were up 1 1/8 on the day, which is fairly extreme. Also of note, in the futures, I don't really know what's going on there, but take a look at what sugar has done. This was a very hot commodity for a while. In the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. So it broke down out of this consolidation, went through, the 5 went through the 20 right here, giving you a hint. We closed almost exactly on, but slightly above this red line, which is the 100-day. And then we hit the 200-day, consolidated there, looked like a reversal. Down here on the low, turned and closed practically on the high, but right into that same area of the breakdown. Was down yesterday, and when it went through the 200 today, it went down $1.96. This is a very big contract. It's $1,120 a cent. So this move from 27, let's call it, to 23, that's a $4,500 move in 4 days. And I think the margin on this is 7 or 8 thousand. So pretty extreme. It's also very telling because it turns out that sugar in general is a very aspirational commodity, meaning just like people aspire to own, um, you know, Hermes and Gucci and Tiffany. Countries, as a rule, as they become more economically strengthened, they tend to want things like the products that are made with sugar. the ones that are, you know, um, things like chocolates and things like that, things that, when they don't have the money, they wouldn't even think about. So that's what I mean by aspirational. And we're actually pretty oversold here. I'm not sure whether I would play this yet, but it's in an area that it looks. This is the daily. Let me show you what the weekly looks like. On the weekly, we're coming into a major bottoming area. Of course, it's almost a dollar and a half away, and the this red line, which is the 100-week moving average, is down here about 21.35. So that's about a dollar and a half or more below that. Might consider doing something here, just a dollar below 21.88. And if it moves down a little more, you buy it and you stop it out at 21.87. So okay, as far as news this afternoon, CHWY had earnings today, CHWY. It was a miss on the top and the bottom. CHWY has been a monster of a stock. Remember that the CEO from CHWY went to GameStop. CHWY has a high here of 100 and looks like about 120. Today it had closed at 1842. The earnings came out. The full range for the day was 1987 to 1723. And let me just put that up. And it is trading 1737. That's down $1.05, and that's 5.7%. But that's been a pretty long way down. We also had C3 AI, OpenAI, also with a miss. I don't need to remind you that this stock was 184 with a low of 10. It had closed at 29.16, and the low for the day after the earnings is 26.05 with a last of 26.63, down $3.42 or 11.8. And here's one that I find very interesting: ABBV, ABBV. Remember that a week ago today, AbbVie bought Immunogen for 10.1 billion dollars just last week. Now, Reuters is reporting that they're in talks to buy Cerevel, CERE, for 8 billion, which is $45 a share, and that one, um, since last Friday, has moved from 26 to close today 42.69. But the last 3 days have been very strong. So somebody is either talking about it, somebody new, or it's been in maybe a trade journal or something. 4 days ago, it closed at 26. On Monday, it had a range of 26 to 32, closing 31.80. Yesterday, it had a range of 31 to 37.83, closing 35.60. And today, it had a range of 35.52 to 44.99. The last on it now in extended hours, 42.65, and that's up 706 or 19%. We bought some SPXU calls. SPXU is the 3-to-1 leveraged S&P Bear ETF. We paid about 43 cents for them. I think they closed around 51. I have a feeling that we're going to try the downside here. We're very overbought. There's been big volume in the last couple of days and was unable to move us to a new high, even though we were up, strongly both Monday and Tuesday And then today, it wasn't overwhelming, but it was relatively strong. We also have news tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday, so naturally, Thursday is claims day. So we have a weekly and continuing at that's at 8:30. At 10 o'clock, just wholesale inventories. 10:30, nat gas inventories. And at 3 o'clock, October consumer credit. Always interesting to me. The consensus there is for about 9 billion. I don't know if they figure that, or if they figure the buy now, pay later into consumer credit. I kind of doubt it, but that makes that number suspect automatically. By the way, all of the futures, um, for the most part, it was kind of a mishmash. But the only grain that was up today is the one we happen to be long, which is the wheat. Corn was down, soybeans was down, oats was down, and the wheat wasn't up much. It was up 220. It did trade as high as up about 17 or 18. So I'll be a little bit concerned about that if it opens to the downside in the morning and can't turn back up. But pretty interesting piece. All right. I'll be back first thing in the morning, folks. Hope you had a good day.